now some water. So the title of today's presentation is 10 Tips for Healing Your Inner Child. But without doing anything with ourselves, we need to understand that everything starts with self-observation. So becoming conscious of where we stand or who we are, we need to start to observe ourselves, our thoughts, our feelings, our words, our reactions. It comes with practice. First, you might understand that you are repeating the same situations, the same sentences. That is the beginning. The more you observe yourself, the better you become in grabbing patterns which can put you on autopilot mode. So, but I'm sorry. Okay, that you know, I'm Greek of Hungary. These are some data about me, but later Hayat is going to share, I think, these data with you. So the inner child, there are different terminologies about what or who the inner child is. In psychology, they have a specific terminology for it. They say that it is the individual's childlike aspect. I don't want to go into details of what psychologists, how psychologists define this childlike aspect, because I would like, my purpose for this presentation is to have a simple understanding about our inner child. But psychologists state that this perception of the inner child includes what a person learned as a child before puberty. In ThetaHealing, we know that, and we say that between the age of 2 and 7, more or less, our brain is in this theta state, which is when everything is being absorbed like a sponge, all the information, whatever the child sees, hears, feels. And this is very important, but because how our caregivers behave and they treat us, that becomes a kind of imprint. And these imprints later on will kick in and will define how we react to different situations or people, the way we speak, the way we act. The inner child is often conceived as a semi-independent sub-personality, which is somewhere there inside within us. And most probably for a long period of time, we are not even aware of it, that it exists. But once we become a bit more conscious and we start to look for answers for our questions, we encounter this conception of what an inner child is. Then we start to pay more attention to the messages which might come from our inner child. Other approach to understand who the inner child is, just like Hayat mentioned, it is this nice, innocent, free spirit within ourselves, which reminds us of that state when we were born and still free of programming, like the light, the spirit itself taking a human form, which is still open to everything, emotional, sensitive, remembers how to enjoy life, how to see the miracles in everything. But with time, with all these encounters, how the society works, how the family works, how the rules are, the wings of this of the child itself are being cut, and we forget about our true self, our true nature. The inner child can influence our decisions different ways, but until we do not start to pay attention to our feelings and our thoughts, from where they might come or why I'm thinking this and that, if they come from our experiences as children or young adults or adults, or it is something deeper. And when we start to pay more attention to these messages, then we become somehow able to remember that and connect the dots, that I had this feeling when I was a child, when I was not listened to, when I was left alone. I remember that that this situation in the present makes me remember of that moment back in time. And when we acknowledge this need, when it becomes visible, then we will be able to make the next step and try to address it, try to heal it, and try to find some solution to resolve this tension which might originate in childhood traumas or uncomfortable situations. Growing up, we might hide or put a mask on our inner child's innocent spirit, forgetting about it. All these take place because of survival, because your subconscious practically serves you to survive, and anything which is against your, which feels like threatening for your life, for your survival, for your existence, that will be either put in a box and labeled as to be not to remember of, or to forget, or dangerous, don't open it. But all these things add up, and in the future are going to sabotage you in your manifestations. So that is why it is, have a closer look at your inner child, see what the traumas are, try to find different solutions to resolve these issues, because with that you regain your powers in the present, which allow you to create the future, what you desire, what you want to manifest. People could ignore their inner child because they were maybe considered themselves not to not be good enough, like in their appearance, the way they talked, or the results, what they brought from school, anything. And just again, to protect themselves, they just cut themselves off from their inner child. So there are different family, I'm looking for a word, situations which could lead to just to ignore, forget, put aside, or not to deal with at all with our inner child aspect. But it always finds the way to communicate with us. Just to have a quick look at the parenting styles, I think many of you might be familiar with this different parenting styles. And here is the first moment when I would like you to take that piece of paper. And I don't know if the letters can be seen clearly, but just I would like you to have an overall look on the 4 parenting styles, and wherever your attention goes, like permissive, and wherever a word pops out, like few rules maybe your parents had when growing up towards you, so, and it resulted in low self-esteem, okay, that is where you might have an issue with regard to your inner child. So just, I would like you to look at this page. Just focusing onto the page, and let yourself gaze around the 4 different parts. Whatever just pops out, don't think, don't question why that one, don't try to find an answer, just take a note of that very word. Either it belongs to the parent traits or to the child outcomes. I give you a couple of minutes to do that. Because your subconscious shows you, leads you, or your inner child this way to the issues which might be important to be dealt with. For example, I just looked at value independence as a trait. So I just check the other side. Higher self-esteem for me. That's one. I would like you to go through all 4 of them, regardless that your parents might belong mainly to one of these descriptions. And I would like you now, when you are doing this exercise, to pay attention to your breath. I would like you to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Because with this single activity, that giving some attention, paying some attention to these issues can cause you a bit of extra stress. So as being a theta healer, while you are doing this exercise, I'm asking creation to help us to take into the light of creation all these extra stresses which are ready to be released. Your task is to find the words, and while you are doing it, breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Because doing this exercise, your inner child is being seen. Nice. Okay, I give you another 1 minute. And it is very important to be honest with ourselves when we want to really go deep and connect our inner child. I like to write down observations, like putting yourself in a meditative state. You go back and just observe some years back in your childhood, generally between the age of 2 to 14, and observe your parents and let your consciousness to throw out all those situations when you felt something which was not right. And you take note of those feelings, and they will help you later to go deeper and help your inner child to resolve those issues. And when looking at charts like these, they trigger you also and show you the way what to focus on. And I would like, if you feel, to have some water, please, just to help your body to move information, to cleanse a bit the space energetically within, to continue. Okay, so some words about trauma. Anything can be considered as a trauma. If there is a little girl who is 2 years old and she's standing maybe on the stairs, and her daddy, who is like a big guy, like 2 meters or 1 meter and 80, I don't know in feet, I'm sorry. And this big man who is huge for a little baby, like 2 years old, little girl, shot at the girl, at her daughter, and she just gets frightened and pees because of this big force which is coming towards her, being his daddy being in a way aggressive. That's a trauma. That's a huge trauma, and could lead to many imprints which might later on cause difficulties for this little girl growing up to connect or trust a man. Okay, this is a far-fetching example, but the possibility is there. So we shall never undermine the importance of the smallest events, because we are different, and we are differently sensitive to different events. And if somebody was abused physically, sexually, and somebody was abused by words only, for the person itself on her personal or his personal rating, it could be the same traumatic event. I would like everybody to breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth, just to relax a bit. Breathing is very important. Anytime when you can remember being in a situation where you lose control of your thoughts and you feel that emotionally are triggered, breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth can put you back into the present moment, allowing you to relax your nerves. If you can't do that, it's okay, then just go with the flow. Okay. So as it is written here, we can have trauma response to anything we perceive as a threat, anything. And it's all personal and it shall be acknowledged. Our rational brain can't stop it from occurring, so it could return as a pattern. When a trauma has an imprint in us, it will return different events, different people, same feeling. So that is why self-observation is important. But self-observation focuses on the feeling itself. But to be able to focus on your feeling, you need to connect yourself. And sometimes that is difficult too. We forget how to have our focus placed on ourselves, turning it into inwards, because we are trained and programmed to put our focus outside of ourselves. Okay, why was I triggered? When we become more and more self-aware, we practice self-observation. How to practice self-observation? First of all, put the intention out there. Okay, I want to understand myself better, first intention. I want to see how and where and when I'm repeating things, either in my thought patterns, the way I'm thinking, okay, or the way I'm speaking, because first thoughts are born. Many of them you don't communicate, but when you give them more power, you communicate them. So maybe it's easier to start with self-observation, seeing what you are saying, or observing what the others are saying. And if you observe a repetition, like, oh, you just say, this is the same disc again. Okay, that's repetition. You can stop for a while and reflect what was repeated there. You can take notes at the beginning just to train your brain how to do it. Then it becomes automatic. And as far as everything, every change needs time, it is a process. Unfortunately, we are not taught in most of the countries how to remain kind with ourselves. We want results, we are hard, and we want everything very fast. Well, if we have a very deep faith, it can take place immediately. But most of us, we need more time to practice. If the intention is there, if you practice, the results will be there too. So why was that triggered? We observe the feeling. I felt what? Trapped. Okay? This is something which will remind you a past event where the same feeling appeared. So you can ask yourself that, oh, where did I feel this feeling? You can search your brain for memories, which is one way to have your answer. But there's a deeper way to have your answers when you connect your heart. Practically, if you touch your heart in the middle of your chest and you just place your focus inside, connecting your heart, which could be difficult, even that one to many. But that is the first step. So this is a step to learn, connecting my heart step by step. Keeping your focus on your heart, you can ask yourself from the heart space, why I was triggered, because I felt trapped. Okay, that's the answer. When was it? What happened? Learn how to tune into your feelings and not only have the cognitive way of having an answer for our questions. But believe me, if you practice it, you will have it. You just need to put the attention out there and practice. So we felt misunderstood. It is always taking place. I'm just hearing this sentence from my son again and again and again. But being a Theta healer, my son, being my best teacher, practically shows me where I child in the reverse. It means for me immediately that I am doing the same with myself. Okay, so people around us can communicate indirectly, not knowing, showing us as a mirror what our issues might be. In this case, it says that it felt like someone was manipulating me or intentionally twisting my words. That's another way of misunderstanding. But again, we need to see what is behind misunderstanding. You ask yourself, you train yourself to ask questions of yourself and wait for your answers. And the other one as a trigger can be I felt like I was bad. That's very easy. When we don't present results, we can feel that we are wrong, not good enough, don't accept us. Again, you have the feeling and you go behind the feeling to see what I think, which leads to this feeling bad. I felt unheard. Either no one listens to me, and then you find ways how to be listened. This is another personal thing I realized from the story of my mom that was occurring with me when I was 2 years old. My brother was born on the same day, same month, but a year later. Practically, my mom was having like two little babies, like twins. And she told me that when I was two and a half something, when she was cooking and cleaning, she couldn't find me because I slipped out of the door and I went to the neighbors because my mom was busy. So wherever I found an open door, I went there, and I don't know how I was communicating my needs. And by the time my mom finished cooking, I was full because the neighbors fed me. So I find a way as a little child to be heard and my needs to be met. So it was like a funny story, but when I, with another eye later on, with the Theta healer eye, I looked at it, I saw this pattern being unheard, emerging from this nice story. So it is always good to pay attention to parents' stories or grandparents' stories, because there might be hidden messages. Again, you can train yourself to hear these messages, or you can feel that there is something there for you as a hidden message to focus on. Your inner child could indirectly communicate with you through these messages coming from others. But it presupposes that you have the intention to pay attention to these messages. And it can come with practice, that you tune more into your feelings. You pay attention to what you feel. You stop when you feel something. And you don't rush finding a logical explanation to that feeling, because that is the moment where you lose the case rather. Okay, the other triggers can be like feeling jealous or feeling foolish because we don't know something, or being felt unconsidered, like being irrelevant, being I don't know, the third child in a family where there are 6. It's easy to to have this feeling, and you become like a ghost, completely unseen. So you just look back in time and try to remember the stories that your parents told you, or how you felt, the situation you went through, your childhood. And you look behind the events, you will be able to see where your triggers are. Now I would like everybody again to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Once more. And breathing out, all the extra pressures which came up talking about this issue, go to the light of unconditional love. And here comes the second exercise on that paper where you have some words already. I would like you to just focus on these words here, these triggers, and the explanations below them, and find yours. But what are those which are the strongest, which call your attention? Okay. You can either take notes of the bold lettered headers, or within the explanation, some specific words like I was often ignored. Okay, that was popped out to me. And actually, yes, because my brother was more in the center of attention. If I just analyze, I put my logic behind my intuition, behind the message I receive. That is another technique to learn. Focus on your breathing as well. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Take your time. Just follow your glance, your eyes glance, where it leads you. And keep on breathing. Because being a Theta healer, I'm holding you the space, being connected to source energy, which supports us always with unconditional love. And breathing out, you are able to release if you want to. So please set your intention there, out there, that during this presentation, you allow yourself to let go whatever is ready to be released. Just give yourself the permission, and it is taking place. And while you are taking your notes and focusing on your way of breathing, breathing out, everything goes and dissolves in the infinity of everything, all that is. Nice. A couple of more seconds. You don't need to think now why those words popped out. Just leave them there. Don't start to analyze. This is not the moment for that. Okay, you need a space. Maybe you need extra help, support for that, because some triggers can be very deep. And that is another issue, to learn how to allow ourselves to receive support. Because if we have a childhood trauma, being abandoned, we don't know how to receive support. Okay. If you feel like, please have some water, just help the information to circulate. And water's vibration is thought to be the closest to that of the light. And it helps you to wash out of you whatever is ready to be released as well. Okay. The next slide is about, again, how our inner child becomes invisible for us through wearing different types of masks. Okay, we developed just for sheer survival. This is the third exercise. Because while going through the different definitions, there might be many more, but this is just to have a taste of how many nice masks one might have, one or more. Allow yourself to recognize what might be yours. For example, mine is entertaining. I don't put myself into the middle of a party, but automatically my personality triggers attention, and I really like to make jokes. I love people when they are happy. I can easily alter these conversations into a funny phrasing, and we laugh a lot. And that is a kind of mask which is about entertaining. And it is okay to have a mask. That is very important to see and understand that it is okay to be the way as we are at this very second, and the next one, and the next one. Because at this very moment, that is the maximum what you can do, and that is what who you are. And your inner essence, the life force, is always pure. It's always love. Okay? Your human existence has these nice issues to work with, to better understand yourself, your different aspects, including your inner child. So there is the people pleasing. We know that type of person who, in order to avoid conflict, they will always support you. And it is very funny when you see a person that one moment supporting an idea, then an hour later another idea, and the two ideas are opposite to each other. But it is okay to be like that. And that is another important aspect of acceptance, learning how to become non-judgmental. It's easy to be judgmental because it is everywhere. It is so difficult to stop being critical of yourself and others. But the moment when you realize that you yourself are doing the same things, maybe with not that intensity, then you will have a better understanding of the other person. Because if I do the same mistake, okay, like whatever, not paying that much attention to the other person, then I'm not paying attention to myself. So how do I dare to call your disadvantage, but put it on the front when I have the same issue to deal with? So when you understand how you work, and you might have the same traits, then you will stop criticizing, blaming, and judging others. But this, again, starts with self-observation. I always, when I catch myself criticizing someone, now I can see myself like, oh, I was criticizing someone. Then later on, I go back and I check what I said about the other person, and I check how that energy is present in me. And some of these energies or traits can be related to inner child traumas. So there are some others here, like withdrawal, pulling in or non-feeling, when you just cut yourself off of your emotional responses, or looking good, like I'm perfect, everything is just knit and according to the latest fashion, and I'm fresh, and just to look perfect, to avoid like being seen as not good enough again. A rescuing type of person who saves everyone, who is focused on everyone's needs, who wants to help everybody and wants to save them, but he forgets or she forgets to do the same for herself or himself. So that person is out of touch with him or herself. The passive aggressive, agreeing to cooperate, then it is lost somewhere on the way and aggression comes in, and we are surprised that from one end we just went to the other end within either seconds or through the process. Jumping to negative assumptions, that is a nice technique to survive, like when somebody's preparing always for the worst, or might figure out what others might think could be the worst and just making plans against how to avoid that image. That is draining. Instead of paying attention to yourself and giving power to yourself via self-confidence and trust, okay, and believing in yourself, you just observe others. Your focus is outside. Acting out, troubled person, the one who is the first to tell you that you are wrong in something and pointing out that is lacking, you don't do this right, blah, 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 blah. When somebody's talking like that, of course, again, if somebody's telling me things like that, I stop for a moment, because there might be a message there about me as well. But at the same time, I observe the other person, that what is he or she, what she or he is running away from, not connecting his or her real needs. So it's a lot of information. I would like you to focus on two things, okay? One is when you recognize in yourself the pattern, okay? That is one, take a note of that. And the other is when a person behaves such way that triggers you. Okay, when someone is like looking good and it triggers you, you just can't stand a person who wears the latest fashion-related items, and you know how they are, and it triggers you. You just can't stand their sight, or don't want to be, or just everything bad comes out of your mouth. So we are looking for triggerings, or the sensation when you understand that or recognize yourself in this pattern. I'll give you a couple of seconds, a minute to reflect. Because the people who trigger us, I have to tell you, they are our best teachers. Really, it's difficult to accept, but they help us to understand what are our shadow sides, or what our inner child might communicate us to put our focus on through the other person. And when you understand this angle of certain situations, when you are out of the situation and you go back, you can faster forgive the other person for what he or she is. Okay. When you are ready, then we go to the next slide. So connecting your inner child could be easy for some and could be very difficult to others. Self-observation, I believe, is a must. After that comes understanding triggers. Okay, why do I react for something? From where this feeling comes? Where have I experienced this feeling, this emotion? Why I'm listening to this sentence again and again? Okay. Understanding responsibilities. We have to understand that we are in co-creation. This event is being co-created by all of us present here. Your responsibility was to choose the event and show up. My responsibility and Hyatt's responsibility was to organize it and be prepared for it. So we are co-creating the space, the event, the content. And this is the same for all kinds of events, everything, including the worst nightmares of ours. I would like you to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Because we create situations which can help us to better understand those parts which need attention, healing, and through which we learn our lessons. And acknowledging that I am the one who subconsciously created the situation, and the other person will play the villain. That's a hard role to play anyways. Then when it's over, okay, I am the one who has the, not the option, but there is always a choice to choose which way to go. Either I want to address it, or I just go into depression and I give my powers away and don't do anything about the situation. When I'm taking responsibility, I step up for myself, I claim my powers back, and I'm going to find different ways to connect. Connecting myself means connecting the inner child as well. Because the inner child can show us many traumas or many feelings and situations which cause the kind of negative imprint in us. And if we address these negative imprints and through different ways of addressing it, we find a solution, then it is dissolved and lesson is learned. Boundaries. Connecting to our inner child and having conversations, we learn more about our needs, our real desires. And we become more able to see what we want and what we do not want. Sometimes when we understand what we don't like, and going back in time, seeing as children what we didn't like, okay, but maybe just ignored or forget about that. If we bring them back and we observe where we lost connection, and we understand that, okay, I don't like this and this and that in the mirror of not liking someone, we can understand what we like, what we want, you know? And the mirror of the other thing, we can define either what we want or what we do not want. And that helps us to set boundaries. Communication and connection is a key element. Everything is in a way communication. But we have forgotten how to turn our focus inwards and how to communicate with ourselves, how to connect ourselves, how to connect our feelings, and how to be honest with ourselves without overthinking or being drawn into the feelings. Sometimes some healing activities we can do on our own, but there are some cases when we need external help. That is when we need to either go to a psychologist, a Reiki master, a Theta healer, whatever you are called, or whomever you are called to. That is the right person, the right modality, which is going to help you at that very moment. And whatever is being said here today, just take with you whatever resonates with you, because that is your truth. Okay, that is something which will help you to grow, change, and expand. Rediscover joyful desires. Growing up, we just again forget about what is joy, what is happiness, because we go to school, we have to study, we go through all those preset expectations, what we think we have to meet. And if we are lucky enough, one day we stop and say, no, there should be another way. It doesn't feel right. That is the moment when you, again, connecting back to your inner child and looking back in time or asking yourself, you could rediscover that what was that made me feel happy, like being in the garden, laying on the grass and just touching the field. It might seem stupid for many, but that is real connection to Mother Earth and nature. Not looking at your mobile. That is another way of connecting to, but maybe connecting to Mother Earth, to the nature, can give you more, can fill you more up and not drain you. And going back and acknowledging your desires forgotten, you can give yourself a second chance to include them in your life again. And remember, responsibility, no one else can give you time for that, to make it happen but you. You set the intention, you want it, you will make time for it, regardless what. That way you are going to create new experiences. But we have to learn how to allow ourselves these kind of experiences to take place. Because sometimes we are so much programmed that we forget about free agency, that we have the right to make our choices. We have the right to think whatever we want. We have the right to be free, like a child, to be joyful and happy and do crazy things, but even though when you discover these needs and desires and the thought might make you feel happy, then the next step is, do you give permission yourself to do so? Do you allow yourself to make it happen? And I can feel many of you now saying no. But when you have a negative response, no, then just don't worry, it's okay, because that's your truth. You are honest with yourself. No, I don't allow this. Then the why question, why? Okay, just don't blame yourself. Oh, why I'm so stupid? That is logic. You should allow yourself, blah, 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 blah. Then you are talking, but you are not sensitive enough with yourself and compassionate. You observe yourself. Your answer for allowing is no. You pause, you breathe. Then when you are ready, you look behind this no. Meaning like, why I'm not allowing myself? It's not logical, but your logic is one thing, and your emotions might have an opposite vector. Okay, your emotions, your subconscious say that if I allow myself this, I will be considered foolish or childish, and that is not good. Then I will lose all the respect. See the programming? So you have the desire, your inner child wants you to set free and feel again the connection to nature, for example. And you say, yes, it's good. I know, I understand. But the trauma behind, okay, that I will be seen as foolish, blocks it. So it's self-observation. When you see this, then it becomes visible for you that stopping myself of getting something good, practically I'm receiving acknowledgement, or I'm not seen foolish. And these are the energies what need more change. What need to be released. And so having a conversation with ourselves is very important, and it takes time. It takes time. We are not used to talk to ourselves, with ourselves. COVID was a very good thing from this point of view, because we all had the mask on. So when I was on my bicycle outside, practically I was having conversation loud with myself, but nobody could see me with mouth moving and they couldn't consider me to be foolish, but it's good to have a conversation yourself loud, okay? Because it helps you to connect yourself and your inner child as well. And always wait a bit for the answer to come from your heart area and not from a cognitive, a logical way of thinking. You observe the feeling and your brain can be trained to put into phrase then what the feeling was about. Meditation is a fantastic way to connect. Through meditation, you can allow yourself to release these negative patterns. In ThetaHealing, when we give permission for ourselves to release negative patterns, we practically hand this over to creation. You can call it God if you wish, but creation, life force, energy, what is in everything within us and around us, because it's like an ocean. It takes everything and it converts it into unconditional love and light. It needs practice and time again. There are so many YouTube videos out there which can facilitate this process. So if you hear the call, just look one up on Google. Wherever your glance goes, that is your meditation. Trust your intuition. I talked about breathing, and movement is about creating new experiences, like bungee jumping is one of them. I'm telling you. So just put into motion whatever you want. Don't keep it at the level of plans and ideas. How to support your inner child? That's yourself. Okay, there are a couple of ways here beside all what I've mentioned during the previous part of the presentation. Well, even though this list, the content of this list seems to be logical and easy, it could be not that easy, okay? That creating a bond between an adult you and your inner child means, first, that you are able to focus inwards. But what if you have never tried it before? So it will take time and the intention that I want it. Okay, and even if it is something small, it's good, and let's celebrate small results. Okay, because with time it will build up and will be better and deeper. And there is no need, there is a need, but there is no need to ask for someone to reassure you. Just feel that, follow the good feeling that yes, I can feel that now. I connected myself. I know that, I know it feels good. Trust that good feeling. So when you connect and you have create this bond, then start the conversation. Sounds easy, but what if you grew up in a family where nobody talked to you? So your imprint is like, okay, it's better to keep silent and be an observant. It's safer, and I don't know how to communicate myself at all. Then having an inner conversation, okay, has some challenges. But you can see now that the way you support yourself, practically you support your inner child as well. Okay, everything is connected. Give yourself the nurturing, caring, love, forgiveness, and respect needed to heal. It's an easier one in a way, because when you just go back, you have a flash of a past time event of your childhood where maybe you wanted a hug from daddy, but he was busy with work. Then you can recreate in quantum space this situation, imagining yourself sitting there, and you as your adult self, you go there and you give yourself that hug needed. I would like you to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And if you feel like having some water, please go for it. But even giving a hug could be easy. But again, there are many people out there who don't know what intimacy is. giving and receiving a hug is about intimacy, which we shall not confuse with making love, because they are two different things and two different definitions, and with two different package of feelings. Okay. With self-observation, you can see that, oh, I'm imagining myself going towards my little self, and I want to give a hug. But then I stop, and I don't know why I can't do it. And I'm waiting, the little me is waiting for the hug, but I can't do it. Then you should stop and think, okay, something is wrong here. I need to heal myself with regard to openness and intimacy. Okay? But please remember, be kind to yourself and loving. Accept, respect, and forgive. Again, nice words, easy to say. But if there is no understanding, with understanding, it's easier to accept. As I mentioned previously, if you understand that you yourself have some negative traits, what the other is showing you, it's easier to, then you understand what is going on in that person, it's easier to accept, okay? And you can respect him or her where she or he is at that very moment. You have the choice to leave that situation, okay? And later on, with understanding, acceptance, and respect, forgiveness can enter, because there will be space. But these are processes, okay? There's a different steps in time which need time and action and endurance and dedication. But remember, each day is different. So we shall remain, again, kind with ourselves, and the intention, if the intention is there, results will be there too. Express love to your inner child. Again, if you didn't receive the amount of love what you needed, okay, during the unlearning process, it will take time to learn how to share yourself, how to express your love, no? How to give love. It could be like by different ways. Giving love is like, I give you a present, I'm attentive, I listen to you, or a hug, or verbalizing it. But if you don't have this imprint in you due to the way you were brought up in childhood, then it will be difficult, because you will have only in your mind that, okay, I have to do that, I know what love is, but how it feels, how do I do that? Okay, and we can feel sometimes that I'm doing it, but something is off. You just feel it, but you don't know what is off, and you feel a bit like uncomfortable. Then something is doesn't feel right here. That the difference between I know how it should be and where I am with regard to, in this case, love at. Okay, but it's good. It's okay to be where you are. Please understand that one. If you understand this, that this is okay to be where I am, then you are accepting and understanding yourself. Okay. Then you can be a bit kinder and a bit softer with yourself. So pay more attention and be present. This is like listen to your intuition. I can hear somebody's microphone on. Please, can you check your microphones to be turned off? Thank you. So pay more attention to your feelings, and even to the person who is in front of you, because then you are present. Then you can practice the same thing with yourself and with your inner child. How many times, if you have children, they come to you, they ask for your presence, for your time, and you are just doing something, yeah, you answer like that, you are not present, you are not paying attention. Okay? You need to stop, focus, be there, be present. They will finish faster, I'm telling you. And they will feel that they were heard, seen, and accepted. Jó, so I talked to you in Hungarian. Jó means good. So belief is an important thing. If you believe and trust the process, results will be there. If you don't believe, then you need to look behind where you have lost on the way your belief. Let go is again easy to say, but the moment when you have understanding, acceptance, it's easier to let go. But you need to be able to see self-observation, that you are dwelling in self-pittiness. Okay? But even when you see a child, you go somewhere to visit your friends, or I don't know, you're out there and see children playing in the play yard, and you see that the father maybe hits the son, and it triggers you. You have emotional reaction. You become angry, and you want to go there and tell him that blah 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 blah. This is a very good sign that you have the same energy inside you, meaning that you most probably have experienced something in the past, the same kind of atrocity or aggression. Okay, remember. Give yourself a hug. That's a good one, really. When you are alone and you feel that you are down and you would need someone to hug, you just hug yourself like this. Okay? Put your focus inwards. Actually, I would like you to do that. So please, whoever feels the call, I would like you to hug yourself. I would like you to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And now I would like you to put your focus inside of yourself, where your heart might be. And just stay with yourself in the hug. Try to relax your muscles in your thighs, in your back. And just try to feel into your hug. It's nice. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Again, stay focused on your heart and feel your hands embracing your back, and be present. Even and slowly, when you feel ready, just come out of your hug and open your eyes. Even if you can hold only for a couple of seconds a hug like that, it's good. Because the time for how long you can embrace or hug yourself can show you how much love you can accept. Because we have real issues about accepting love and care. Okay, you can continuously tell yourself good things, affirmations, talking a kind way to yourself and saying that I'm good, I'm proud of me. It's not about ego, but you have to be careful about ego. When it goes towards your heart area, supporting yourself, acknowledging yourself, then you are healing your inner child as well, indirectly. And you can do it directly as well when you are able to create a bond between your inner child, connect, be there, be present, and have a conversation. You can directly express to your inner child all these things, that you are so good. I'm so proud of you. Your adult self is telling this to your inner child aspect. And you need to mean it, to feel it, because then you will be honest with yourself. That's the biggest gift you can give. It's good to reassure yourself, your inner child, that you are there for him or her. You are present and ready and able and capable to support. And it is him or her, and it is okay to, I don't want to use the word fail, but to to not meet your expectations. Like, oh, I want to hug myself 5 minutes and I can only for 30 seconds. What is this? It's okay, then 30 minutes is the maximum I can give, and I'm happy with that result. So change in focus from the negative to the positive is very important again. Make healthier decisions. A decision, you each second have the freedom of choice in every situation, what to choose, okay? And if you decide that in your lunch break, you go out to the park and you just, in your suit, you just lay down and relax and touch the grass, feel free to enjoy and allow yourself to be filled with the energy of nature without being guilty for it. Practice full self-compassion with no judgment. We talked about this one. So I think this is the last slide of my presentation. I hope I managed to give you a deep understanding or approach about how to connect and talk to and heal your inner child. Of course, there are many techniques out there, and whatever you feel the call for, try it, go for it. Everything helps you to grow and heal. Now, what I would like to do, if it is okay, Hyatt, and we are good, I think, with time, that I would take you into the volume. So, position yourself comfortably and close your eyes. Deeply breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. With each breath, feel your body relax. Shift your awareness from your mind to your heart. Touch your heart with 2 fingers in the middle of your chest. Feel into your heart and tell your heart in your mother tongue 3 times, I love you, I love you, I love you. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Through your feet, enter the energetic center of Mother Earth. The way I'm saying it, it is taking place. Wait for the sensation of the first color to appear in your mind. Now imagine this color, this energy entering your energy field through your feet. The way I'm saying it, it is taking place. It turns all your chakras according to their space, cleansing and harmonizing them. Up through your spine, your root chakra, your sacral chakra front and back, your solar plexus front and back, your heart chakra front and back, your throat chakra front and back, your third eye chakra front and back, and your crown chakra. Then it rises upwards and forms a beautiful sphere of light at the top of your head. The way I'm saying it, it is taking place. You are in this sphere of light, and place a part of your heart consciousness next to you. Take your time to notice what color this sphere is now. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And now imagine yourself within this sphere, rising above your house, above your village or town, above your country, continent, rising above Mother Earth. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in and breathe out. Remember, we are together on this journey and you are safe. And now we go a bit higher and higher, and we can see our solar system. And now we rise again a bit higher and higher, and we expand into all directions, to the front and back, left and right, up and down. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And we go higher and higher, and we can see our galaxy, the Milky Way. And we rise, we go higher and higher and expand. We can see other worlds and galaxies. And now we pass through different layers of lights. White lights, darker lights, white lights. A golden light layer and the jelly-like substance, the color of the rainbow. Go a bit higher and higher. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Relax. You are safe. We are together on this journey. And now a little twinkling bright pearly white light appears in front of us. It expands and we expand into it. As I'm saying it, it is taking place. Come a bit higher, higher and deeper. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. This is pure source energy and you are safe. Feel yourself expanding fully into this energy of unconditional love, into everything, all that is. It feels light, but it has an essence. Go deep within. Breathe the light of unconditional love in through your nose and observe its way entering your body. It cleans, harmonizes you from within, reaches all your cells up to DNA level. You can feel it passing through you. It is as if you can no longer feel the separation between your own body and source energy. You become everything, all that is. Enjoy having peace. Your body becomes perfect and healthy. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Remember that there is only energy here. This is the perfect place to communicate with the Creator, with the creation of all that is, or God, or universal consciousness, source energy. That is your inner essence of light and love. This is the place where you can reflect on your questions and have your answers. And this is the place where downloads are being born. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And now I'm going to ask creation to support us with some downloads based on today's group consciousness and the subject of the presentation. Remember, your task is to observe yourself and feel what resonates with your truth. And if you want a certain download, just say yes. And the energetic upgrade you are going to receive. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Let's see the downloads. Thank you, it's done, it's done, it's done. Of course, the first download is about connection. Would you like to know what the definition of creation about connection is and how it feels? If you would like to have this download, say yes, and it's coming to you. Would you like to know how it feels to be able to turn your focus in without losing connection with the outside world? That you are able to keep your focus outside, but at the same time now you can focus inwards as well. If you would like to have this download, say yes. It's coming to you. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Creation shows me to download you, if you want it, the understanding of the sign of infinity, and that you are in the middle of the two circles meeting, and having the understanding of what infinity according to creation is, you are able to understand the flow of coming, of a focus like going inwards, then entering you, and the focus going outwards, making the circle and returning to you. Then again it goes out and comes back. Nice. If you would like to have this download, say yes. It's coming to you. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Okay, would you like to know what the definition of creation is about? Allowing yourself to connect to yourself as well, that you are ready and able and capable to find a way back to the light you have within, without the energy of confusion, mistrust, or disbelief. If you would like to have this download, say yes, and it's coming to you. 2 more downloads. Would you like to know what the definition of creation about unconditional love is? And that you are always supported by universe, and it is always present with you, and how it feels to have the presence and support of universe within and outside of yourself. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. If you would like to have this download, say yes, and it's coming to you. And the last download is about remembering and knowing. Would you like to know how it feels to be able to remember through knowing and without the energy of forcing yourself to learn new things? Because now with the connection, with the upgrade of connection, now you know what is inner knowing and how to remember it. If you would like to have this download, say yes. And it's coming to you. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in and breathe out. And now imagine that a bright light bulb appears in front of you in the space of unconditional love, and it goes down through the universes, the worlds, comes to you, and through your crown chakra it enters your energetic field, once more cleanses and harmonizes you from within. Through your feet it enters deep Mother Earth, grounds you, it turns back, re-enters your energetic field the way I'm saying it is taking place, goes up to your crown chakra. You are grounded, but at the same time you remain connected to the realms of unconditional love, source energy, everything all at ease. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And when you feel ready, put your paws together, wrap them fast, and when they become warm, place them onto your eyes. And when you feel ready, open your eyes into your palms and come back to the city, town, village, to the house, to the very room where you are. Welcome back to three-dimensional reality. I hope you enjoyed the meditation.